going on, Bulls Nation, and welcome in to CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Everyone's cracking around here.
That's right.
It's just water. We're
just death. That's all it is.
Just a bunch of death. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My guy's Big Dave at Balby at FL Sports. Will the GOAT at Will_Gottlieb.
Adult.
And our producer / recent Bulls HQ guest,
rising star in the business,
Joey Spathis. Follow him at Joey. We've achieved the race to 800, Joey.
The race to 1,000 starts now.
Now it's the race to 1,000.
Yeah, well, the race to 900's in there somewhere too. But
No, Joey, no. You got to think big, man.
We're trying to get to 1,000 before
before
Twitter shuts
Quadruple
down.
digits or nothing.
900 is Thanksgiving. We're on our way to Christmas.
812 though. You're on your way.
812. I know.
You're on your way.
Let's go, man. We're gonna keep it moving.
Exponential growth.
That's
Exponential
right.
growth.
Thank you, Bulls Nation.
Do you think he'll get
baby.
to 1,000 first, or Bulls Twitter will get to 5,000? The CHGO Bulls account will get to 5,000.
I think, what are we, like about 100 or so away from 5K?
Yeah,
on our team
100 or
account.
so. I mean, it could be
I don't
you.
know.
What are you saying?
I would say that you guys are going to get, us, we are going to get 123 followers before I'm going to get, personally, 180.
Oh, wait, we're that close? 123?
You're 4873.
Oh, man.
Better get those Tigers
Speaking
and
of
Dukes
which,
ready.
Yeah, my Tigers and Chiefs.
CHGO_Bulls
ready?
is where you can follow our team
You like
account.
that mental math?
I think we need to take a little bit of credit for this recent spike in Joey's Twitter following.
Of course we take credit for it.
We got to tell, we've been telling the people.
Yes.
Got to follow
Get
our
the word
guy.
out.
And I am so appreciative.
Everybody loves some point guardsmanship. You guys are dishing the ball.
Dishing it. It's what we pass.
But you know
here.
what? He's the scorer. He's putting the ball in the hoop.
That's
True.
right. We got tired of him taking the ball. We said, Joey, let us pass. Let's get you the ball. We get
In
you open.
case you haven't seen it yet or you missed it, our episode that dropped in your podcast feeds yesterday was a Bulls HQ
Yeah.
with our guy Will here and Mark K. And Joey makes 3.
Yeah.
So go give that a listen. Also, if you missed Monday, you missed something pretty cool because we had Io in studio. So go back and watch that Monday episode if you missed it.
Well, can I ask you, what's the best thing about Joey as a guest?
That he also produced.
Hey, that's
I don't think he did produce. Mark's been taking the
I did not do that.
production reins.
First of all, there's no producing. And
I know. It was just funny,
click
man.
start.
Let the joke happen, Joey.
I would just say Joey and I talk about a lot of this stuff off the camera all the time. So it's just nice to be able to do it on the record. I thought he was great.
Okay.
Was that your first podcast appearance?
No, I actually had my own podcast back in the day.
I was gonna
but
say,
X.
you did not seem like that was
no,
your first time.
I said that I get some credit for doing whatever button pushing back here. It's really not that complicated. I think you guys are the ones who have the hard job. You guys put me on the spot with what was wrong with Vooch, DeMar, Levine trio. I mean, I froze up there, like Patrick earlier in the season with the ball in the corner. I didn't know what to do. I just looked at Will and passed it right back to him.
Mark was also like, when we do our show, it's usually the two of us.
Yeah.
So he's usually asking a question and he directs it to me.
Right.
And he kept on doing that. I was like, dude, ask Joey. He's the guest.
He's there too.
I was
Pass
like,
the ball.
No.
All right, talk about the Pelicans. I want to win.
The other thing I love about the HQ episodes is listening to you guys read ads.
Oh,
yeah.
we're so bad at it.
I did. I got my first ad read too.
Oh,
Got my first ad read. Taking a page out of Big Dave's book.
proud of you, bro.
Yes, sir.
I really have work to there.
Think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, it's not great.
Practice, just like anything else, man. Practice.
Just be the GOAT,
appreciate
man.
the love in the comments for the IO episode. For those of you who caught it, glad you enjoyed it. It was fun. We will have him on more throughout this season.
A lot of fun, man.
I'm excited to watch IO ball tonight.
Very excited to watch Io play. Just excited to watch the Bulls in general get out there and do their thing, man. In the rematch,
Yes.
when you're playing a team this close to when you played them last, the second game always becomes a little bit more chippy. Like you saw it against the Raptors.
Right.
You know what I mean? You saw Io and Van Fleet get a little bit chippy out there. So I'm interested to see how it's going to go for them tonight, Will.
And Io said this at practice yesterday that it's kind of like a mini playoff series.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. You saw the same type of thing with the Raptors, to your point. And you start to pick up some of their tendencies. And I think it's very hard to beat the same team 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
But if you can pick up on some of that stuff and really, poke the inconsistencies, try to find their weaknesses, then I think winning that second game is basically worth more, I think, than winning the first.
Yeah.
Indeed. Shout out to Brandon's brother Elijah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Elijah.
Love
Wait,
Bulls fan birthdays.
Is Elijah watching? If Elijah's watching, man, shout out to you, man. Even if you're not watching, shout out to you for being Brandon's brother.
Whoop whoop. Yeah, so a rematch on a team that like this game that the Bulls did lose to the Pels 115-111.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can revisit a little bit more later, but back and forth game, real tight.
Yeah.
But good news for the Bulls as far as trying to figure out how to beat this team that you just lost to. No Zion tonight.
Woo.
So that'll help. He missed their game on Saturday with, I think they're calling it a foot contusion. Yeah. And is being held out again tonight.
Yeah.
Zion had a quiet start in that last game that these teams played, and then had a pretty big stretch from the third to the early fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Ended with 19 points, and was big in the win for them. So that's one load, one worry off Bulls' minds, off Billy Donovan's mind tonight.
Yeah.
Because we discussed in that night's postgame show just how difficult it was for the Bulls defensively. Like, who are you putting on Zion, and then who are you putting on Ingram?
Yeah, there's no answer for him. You know what I'm saying? You don't, like, even if you, like you said, you put P-Dub on him because of the size, well, then you got Ingram, and you're like, damn, somebody got to guard him because of the height, and he's really damn good, can shoot from anywhere and get to the bucket. So, yeah, losing a guy like Zion will definitely help the Bulls, but the Pelicans are definitely deep. That is a deep team.
They might be the
there.
deepest team in the league.
I won't argue that at all.
They-
Like, it looks like it for sure.
Like, their starting five, obviously, Larry Nance has played great.
Yeah.
Trey Murphy is awesome. I love that dude.
Yeah.
Dyson Daniels is coming on strong. He had a good game last night. Jose Alvarado.
Herb Jones.
Herb Jones is great as, like, their fifth guy
Yeah.
in their
Claxton's
starting lineup.
not even
I
there.
mean,
You're right.
They've been amazingly good.
Jackson Hayes. Thank you. I said Claxton.
Look 'em horns, baby.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
You all in your horns. I understand, bro. I was about to say something. You know where I was going. Matt knew where I was going. Okay. I love you, man.
I love you
he
too.
knew it. He was here.
Oh,
I felt him
God.
right here, Will. I felt him right here. Like, I know what you're about to say. Like, I know just what you're about to say. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Pelicans are good and deep.
Yeah. Is Nance out? Is he playing?
I believe he's playing.
He's back.
Okay.
I believe he played in their game last night, which, by the way, I think Pels are coming into tonight on the second night of a back-to-back. And, yes, Nance did play.
That's concerning.
Kira
too.
Lewis, who's been out with the ACL.
He's still out.
EJ Liddell, who's got the ACL, and Darion Seaborn
Long-term injury, out.
is their two-way guy, so he's not
Right.
playing. But other than that, it's just Zion.
Nance has definitely been a Bulls killer, too, man.
Yeah,
He could have been
Nance
a Bulls player.
Nance chipped in
Bulls player, yes.
19 on 8 of 10 off the bench for them in their win over the Grizzlies the other night.
Man.
So that's big. On the Bulls injury front, still no Coby White, gentlemen. A quad that's been bugging him now for, he's been out like 7 games, something like that.
Nine.
Like
This might be 9.
9?
Yeah,
Goodness.
This might be 9.
I did see a tweet from our pal Rob Schaefer
Young GOAT.
with thoughts from Kobe's coach, Billy Donovan, who said that the swelling in the thigh has subsided for Coby.
That's good.
But and he has been able to do some running,
Okay.
but he still needs to get his conditioning back because he, for a long time, was not doing any cardio
Yeah.
because he had a busted quad.
True indeed.
So still out tonight, and that kind of leads us into some other Coby White talk that's been going around recently.
Oh, chatter.
So we will do that coming up right next in a minute. But first, hit that thumbs up button while we tell you about DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook.
That was
NBA
good.
fans,
That was good.
we are in it. 15 games into the season as of tonight, and you should be having fun and making money on that DraftKings Sportsbook app. An official sports betting partner of the NBA and our official betting partner at CHGO. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Check this out. In addition to those moneyline bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up
Step up?
same game parlays.
Channing Tatum?
Our guy Ryan from CHGO Cubs was in the office just about 10 minutes ago before taking off for the day.
Yes.
Talking to me about his parlay. He's putting down on Bulls Pels tonight.
It's going in?
He's going.
Okay.
Always.
All right.
That man is
Yes.
committed. He makes the same game parlay for every Bulls game.
That is true. That is very true.
So go to DraftKings Sportsbook and download that app, opt in, place a stepped up same game parlay today. tonight. You still got time to get one in for tonight's game. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet on the NBA. And come back for postgame because I'm going to share with y'all in postgame my DraftKings pick of the week for one of those NBA games on tomorrow night's slate. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up at DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, gentlemen. So, still no Coby. Would love to have his three-point shooting out there. Sucks that we don't. However, Will, you noticed this first and threw it into our Slack thread the other day. A little bit of Coby chatter going around the league right now. Joey, do we have that quote from the Hoops Hype podcast with Michael Scotto? According to rival executives, Coby White is a trade candidate for the Bulls looking ahead before the deadline. So keep your eye on that. That was from the most recent episode of the Hoops Hype with Michael Scotto, Hoops Hype podcast with Michael Scotto, who is a dude who has some connections and some sources around this league. He's been reporting on the NBA for a long time. He's busted a couple of trades before some of the more noteworthy reporters like Woj or Shams on occasion. Interesting that Coby's being talked about in this regard still. And then on top of that, our pal Joe Cali of the Sun-Times wrote a column about Coby and his current situation in that ideally maybe the Bulls would have loved to see him get a run of really strong games off the bench early this season to boost that trade value a little bit. And right now, unfortunately for Coby and the Bulls, we're sort of stuck in this rut of you can't boost your trade value if you're nursing the quad and not playing.
It's a tough spot to be in, and I don't think it's really any different from the spot that they have been in with Coby. He's been kind of the one remaining guy outside of Zach from the previous regime. Doesn't really seem like he's found his way as an NBA player, even though I think when you look at what the Bulls would want back in a Coby White trade, it's somebody who can get out in transition, shoot the ball, which is what Coby does well. So it's a difficult trade chip, but it doesn't surprise me. He's coming up into his restricted free agency. If another team wants to give him a tryout before offering, or maybe it gets to the point where the Bulls do the same thing that they did with Lowry, which was let him get into restricted free agency and then work out some sort of sign and trade. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But again, with all these injuries, with him being inconsistent even when he is in the lineup, it just makes it that much more difficult.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And knowing what the Bulls are lacking, even with Coby out there, knowing what they're lacking kind of raises his value as well. Because maybe it's multiple players they want to get back, you know what I'm saying, for Coby.
Exactly, yeah. It's like one of those situations where he means more to the Bulls than he would to another team, unless they're, a young and a team that's really trying to just take swings on talent. A lot of teams are still fixated on where you were drafted or how old you are. And so, he could have value, but it's got to be the right fit.
He's right.
Para Junior Sports in the comments saying, would Coby and Bradley be what the Suns would want for Crowder? CP3 White connection, CP3 being a mentor to Coby from his AAU days. Yeah. Also, most notable trade talks are all Allen and Crowder. So there was a little update on that just like maybe an hour or so ago. I saw a tweet from Mark Stein saying that he is hearing rumblings that the Suns are getting closer and closer to finding a trade resolution for Jay Crowder, who is, demanding out. No, I've heard no connection to the Bulls in that regard, just that the Crowder trade might be close to being resolved. And yes, I did hear that other name and see that other name in your comment over my dead body. I know that name was also mentioned, I think, Cowley's piece as far as people. But the Bucks don't need Coby White.
Joe, trying to get a rise out of people?
I know. Crazy, right? Crazy Uncle Joe.
About that.
No. But I think the other thing that Cowley did mention in that column that's worth noting is that this is just like cropping up again because we know from multiple sources and reports that the Bulls were kind of shopping Coby and taking calls on Coby this offseason, knowing that it was pretty unlikely that they were going to come to an agreement on a contract extension, which is, in fact, what happened. No extension for Coby. Then Cowley mentioned, the Bulls were listening, but they didn't get anywhere near what they were wanting to get for Coby, and that's why he's still here.
Yeah.
I don't know how that could possibly change for the better from the Bulls' vantage point of what can we get for Coby if since then and those talks that went nowhere this offseason, he has now been on the shelf injured, and when he's played, been the same hit or miss, inconsistent Coby that he's always been.
Yeah, but obviously, regardless of that, teams around the league still see serious value within Coby White. So I think that's going to be interesting when he gets back and continues his play, just the kind of growth. And I think right now with Coby, it's about that minor kind of thing, those little things that he can start doing better that teams might be looking at because they know the shooting, they know those things. But is your defense going to get a little better? Just serviceable, I'm saying. Can you handle the ball a little bit better? Can your IQ be a little stronger? So I think it's those things teams are going to be looking at because I think everybody's kind of resigned to the fact that he's going to be coming off the bench no matter where he goes. So who can you help? What team can you help coming off the bench with those skills that you have plus those little tiny things that you can add to your game?
I think that's a good point because you kind of see what the archetype of player Coby is, right? It's the Jordan Clarkson, the Lou Williams, the Jamal Crawford, six-man scoring spark plug that he really fits. And you don't necessarily need to be that defensive stopper or, Chris Paul IQ caliber pick and roll facilitator to do that at a really high level. So I think he just needs to have, more consistency, whether it's actually playing. He's missed time every single year due to injury or when he's out there not going through these streaks where he cannot hit a three and then going through these other stretches where he can't miss. So it's just been very high and low with Coby, and it's too bad that he hasn't been able to stay on the floor because, like I said, they really do need what he has to offer. So that benefits the Bulls in the present, and then also, maybe longer term they get something better back for him. Because right now, to me, it just seems like the trade value is going down and down.
Right. And to a point where can you really get a 3-point threat kind of player in a trade for Coby, who a team would be willing to send to bring in Coby? Because, I think right now the best situation for the Bulls is not trying to find that trade value from him on the market because it doesn't appear to be there, is can we please get some more 3-point help from within, which is just Coby being healthy and playing.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that is the simplest solution to this problem right now.
That's kind of where I want to start.
Yeah.
Since he's here and we have, can I get him here to help the Chicago Bulls right now? Because we need him. You know what I'm saying? You need Coby White. We used to talk about this a lot. If people who just didn't want Coby. And we're like, well, take a look at the team when Kobe's not here. Take a look. You know what I'm saying? Look at it. You don't have that threat out there. You see what the problem is. You're going to need that kind of threat, you know what I'm saying, in Coby White. And we know what he's capable of. We've seen him hit 8 3-pointers in a game. We've seen him score 30. We know Coby White can do these things, just like what Will said, though, and what we've been saying for years about him. It just needs to be more consistent.
Yeah, I think also it's about finding the right partner.
Correct.
And there are teams out there that are all in on the Wemby sweepstakes. And I think towards the trade deadline and really point. After the December 15th and then January 15th, there's kind of these deadlines where players who were signed in the summer are eligible to be traded 6 months later. And so after those markers, that's when I think you might see a Jay Crowder type of trade. But at the same time, are the Suns really the team that's going to go after more of a project player like Coby, or are they going to try to get someone, who can fill a need right now because they're trying to be contenders? My guess is the latter, but there are going to be teams that, maybe it's the Spurs or the Jazz. They're killing it right now, but I think their ideal version is to still go for the bottom. There are going to be teams like that, and I think Coby could be a good swing for somebody, who's trying to head to the bottom.
Yeah.
Bull don't lie in the comments saying, keeping Coby around would probably be a cheaper option than Ayo this offseason. You may not be wrong in the money and numbers on that. I could not disagree more. I'm not saying you're suggesting that that's better,
right,
but just cheaper option. As we all covered in a recent episode, Matt does not give two shits about cheaper options.
How many shits, Matt?
Not two.
Not two?
Not one, not zero, negative something.
None of the shits.
This team, it's rough that they are in this situation where, as a second-round pick, they just sign Ayo to a 2-year rookie deal instead of that problem being a couple years down the road. But you sign Ayo to a new deal. You do it right now.
Yeah. Right now.
Shout out to French Bulls TV saying hello from France. Nearly 2 a.m. here, but ready. You coming to the Paris game? ? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, baby.
Yeah.
You like that? Broke him already.
I can't believe you just whipped that out.
Broke him already in the pregame, baby.
Wow.
Shout out also to our guy Bulls.
Wasn't expecting it.
Bulls Troy, who's saying, I've been advocating for the Bulls to sign Melo for a while. Now there are whispers of him possibly coming to the Adelaide 36ers. Look, to me, if it's a name like Melo and he isn't on an NBA roster, it's because there's a general consensus agreement that he shouldn't be on an NBA roster. And I'm saying that as someone who has nothing against Melo. And we have seen him be a competent bench piece in these latter years of his career.
No question about it.
It's not just that he's not been picked up by the Bulls because, roster moves and everything else that would require, but he hasn't been picked up by anybody.
But keep in mind, Matt, we went a couple years without nobody picking him up for no reason. Like, he was just sitting at home and nobody understood why. So I can't go by that because they've already shown that they just didn't believe in him. Even years ago, they didn't believe in Melo, and he still came out and was super serviceable. So I don't know. I think he needs to be on the NBA team, man. Like, that's Carmelo Anthony, bro. Like, he still can shoot the basketball. That's still his thing. Like,
yeah, I can't really see him going. I mean, he's made so much money in the NBA. He's all-time player, easy Hall of Famer. I can't see him going to Australia.
And Darius points out, makes a strong point in the comments. Melo on the Bulls would be kind of bad. It's his D I'm worried about. Do you really want another guy who can score but can't play defense on this roster? Because I don't.
Wait a minute. The Melo kind of scorer, though, is different. Yes, you're right. But a Melo kind of scorer for me is different than a Coby White kind of scorer. If that makes any sense.
Sports Time 16 is saying, hey, Coby for D Rose would be a big get. Yeah. Sure
Coby
would.
for D Rose? Deal. They're not doing that. It's not going to happen, man.
A big get is one way to call it. I would call it a highway robbery.
Look at Marquet out of the depths. No Melo.
All right, guys. We've got a few minutes left here before tip-off. Going back to this previous Bulls-Pelicans matchup, crazy game. It was like, what, 20 ties and a million lead changes and back and forth the whole game.
Yes.
The Bulls come into the fourth quarter with a narrow lead, and then Brandon Ingram happened. Brandon Ingram scored 14 of his 22 points in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
It started in the third. We saw him get hot in the third. I believe he scored like a 7-0 run by himself. And after getting that foul on Javonte when he was shooting the three, it was over after that. Like, he was on. He was in and he was on. So yeah, man, he took advantage of mismatches out there. And he just scored and he got caught on fire. A lot of that was on Zach. A couple of that was on Caruso. I, again, after that game, thought that Patrick Williams should have been in there because I thought he was doing a solid job on Brandon Ingram. But, yeah, man, it should be interesting because does Brandon Ingram come with that same kind of fire early in this game? Does the defense that I saw Patrick Williams playing on him continue this game? It should be a little – I'm also interested to see that rotation in the fourth if the game is close again because now with Zion out of the game – it kind of removes that, well, you don't have to worry about him anymore. Maybe I could put Caruso out here and still be okay. You know what I mean? Without people being upset. Right, exactly. So I'm going to be interested to watch that if the game is close in the fourth quarter, but I hope the Bulls are blowing their ass out by then.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that the game was as close as it was given that Zion and Ingram were both off to really cold starts, and then McCollum only had 7 points in that game. He was 3 for 13. So, I mean, I think they have a bad taste in their mouth from the last game.
Sure.
This was the game before that. So they've only played 2 games over a week. And I think they're now 2 games under 500. I think they're thinking about it. And, I mean, they really got to win this one. And I think really honing in on Ingram. But as we talked about, this team is just so deep they can hurt you from so many different places. But I mean, Ingram just that had to have been one of his better games, right? Where he just absolutely took over and won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, dominant. And look, while he was doing that, and the Bulls were struggling to get any stops because Ingram was just, displaying his offensive elite level. They had a couple of possessions down the stretch. One of them was DeMar driving and no foul being called. I can't remember. I know that the last 2-minute report came out the night after. Didn't they say that was a correct no call on that drive DeMar had?
Yeah.
And then the next possession was that weird fluky out of bounds. DeMar just lost the ball on that inbounds play.
That was devastating.
And there's your ball game.
That
like
hurt.
those two possessions, Bulls come up empty. Ingram gets buckets on the other end, and Bulls lose by 4.
Yeah.
That
That definitely hurt, man.
And again, it's these same trends that we've seen all season, which is not able to close out games in clutch. They're 0-6, and starting unit having really a really tough time in the first and fourth quarters, and not being able to get stops or score, which they were really good at last year.
And the numbers reflect how bad it's been, you know what I'm saying, for the starters in the first and the fourth.
Ronald in the comments saying, tighten up that defense and clean the glass. The Bulls did get worked on the boards by this Pelicans team.
My God,
Probably not a big
Valanciunas.
surprise.
My God.
50-35 was the rebounding margin in favor of the Pels, including 13 offensive rebounds for them. The other huge weird things about this game were the Pelicans shot 3 of 19 from behind the three-point line, if you recall. 3 of 19.
Wow.
Worst three-point shooting team in the league, and it's not particularly close at the moment.
Yeah.
They made up for that by shooting 36 free throws to the Bulls' 18.
God, the refs are on my nerves.
That one was on the Bulls' home floor. So who the hell knows what we're going to see tonight?
Right, exactly.
I you know what? I never blame the officials first for any loss, but I don't know. The NBA and the NFL collectively, the refs, trash.
They've got it out.
Did
for
you guys watch that Monday Night Football game? What the hell was that?
What are you talking about, the roughing the passer one?
Yeah, and then like
that was
the no call face mask
Oh,
on
that
the
one, yes.
fumble that
Okay,
turned the tide way in favor of Washington.
That's true. Yes.
And not let alone the fact that the Bears have also gotten hosed by the refs
Bears
this season. Just
But
bad.
I'm thankful
Refs
for those,
do better.
though. I'm thankful for those though. Give me all those losses, baby. Draft pick. Give it to me.
Yeah, Bulls need to do better on the boards tonight, and maybe hope that the Pelicans are as woefully incompetent from behind the three-point line as they were last Wednesday.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it was just the fouls that I thought they played a solid game, and they played a really good game defensively, at least for 3 quarters. And Ingram just carried them. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the way. Remember, the Bulls had a double-digit lead at one point in time. They were trying to run away with that, so they were playing well. And it's also going to be good to have Drummond out there too. That's also going to make a difference as well. So that's going to be fun to see too.
Do you think Drummond should start? Because I saw that from a couple people in the comments.
Oh, I see it right there from my man Sports Time 16. I'm going to say no. You don't start Andre Drummond. No. You don't put him out there.
Also saw multiple if the Bulls lose tonight, is Billy on the hot seat comments.
And
If
more
you feel
no.
that way, you should go to allchgo.com and read
Our
K's
friend Mark K's
about it.
column.
He's got some wise words for you.
Scorch.
Man.
Snarky Marky, back
Bulls
at it
fans-
again.
Marky.
Bulls fans never fail to crack me up.
They are hilarious. And we
Billy
love
on the
you.
hot seat? How about no?
Very reactionary, and we love you dearly. Shout out to y'all, man. And look at I saw the Coby and Javante for Maurice for Thibault. Somebody put out there. Sports Time, you going in today, baby. You going in out here, man.
Yeah.
No, don't make that trade.
And Darius also saying the Bulls got to run. They need to stop jogging. I think I also saw from Fountain, somebody in the comments earlier saying
Pretty
like
Ricky.
the Bulls got to run. When they run, they win.
Pretty Ricky, what they call him.
Yeah. But again, huge plus for the Bulls. Don't got to worry about Zion tonight, which means that Billy will have more options at to choose from as far as defensive assignments on trying specifically to contain and or shut down Ingram.
Correct.
The other thing to think about there, though, is that CJ McCollum had a complete flat line of a game the last time these
Yes,
teams
he
played.
did.
Last
So
night, he blew up.
Yeah.
30 points and 9 assists.
Yeah, man. He
Watch out
found
for that.
himself, so watch that.
it is 7:01 Chicago time. That means tip-off
Bulls.
is right around the corner. Hit that thumbs up button before you head out of here. Thanks for watching pregame with us. Appreciate
Love
it.
you.
And we will see you right back here for
Hugh Zach.
postgame. In the meantime, follow Joey Spathis on Twitter, y'all.
Yeah.
Joey to
Climb
1K
to 1K.
Power
at
Junior
Joey
Sports.
Spathis. Will_Gottlieb, Bow, BNWL Sports, Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls, and we will see you right back here for postgame after Bulls
In the Winners
and
Lounge.
Pels.
Go Bulls!
In the Winners Lounge.
In
In the Winners Lounge.
I want to
speaking
give
into
out goon of the
existence.
night.
I want to go higher. Go Bulls. See you, Red. Be good.
Peace.